This machine is called a turret punch. We have several different pieces going on here. All of these circles on top, these are called punches, and on the bottom they're called dies. The punch has to match the die. So if you notice these numbers, 4 on top, 4 on the bottom, we have to make sure those are always matching. For the most part, we won't need to move this at all, but if we do, make sure that the numbers match and that this turret is locked in. This is our turret handle, so I can pull this and this whole table turns, and it has a spring-loaded pin back here. When I turn it, you'll hear it click in. All right, so now it's locked in, top and bottom. We start with number 1 is missing. It's been broken for years and years and years. We're going to use number 2, which is an 1/8" hole, and it goes all the way around to 12, which is over here, and that is an 1.5" hole. So here's just an example. We can punch, that's a drop from, I don't think that's quite our full-size hole there, but that's a pretty good size hole. We do have a backstop. We can crank this forward or backwards, so we can put a piece of metal against it. Punch holes the same depth all along a sheet. Capacity for this machine is the same as all of our other ones, 16 gauge thickness, and really whatever size piece of metal we can fit in there, we have that depth back there, which is roughly 12 inches. This is our lower turret handle, so we can lift that one and turn this, but again, we want to make sure that's locked in. As always, we've got our handle. When we use this machine, we always put the handle all the way back. So when we use this machine, it's pretty straightforward. If we have a hole that's been marked with the center punch, the tip of this punch actually has a teeny little point to it in one spot, right in the center. So we can stick this piece in, we can wiggle it around until we feel that tip drop into our center punch mark. Won't do it though unless we lower the punch just a little bit. So I'm going to lower that. We would wiggle it around, and when we found the spot, we just punch the hole. All right, and when you put the handle all the way back, it should push the piece of metal off of the punch. This machine's a little old and tired. It doesn't always work. So if it does not, and it's a good idea to do this on your joining lab. So if I punch a hole, let's set it up and punch another hole. A lot of times, especially when you're right close to the edge, when you lift this up, it's just going to bend your piece of metal. So if we pick up this little piece of metal, it should be sitting right next to the machine. If I just slide that in there like that, that gives me a little extra push to help push the piece of metal off of the punch. So this needs to stay right here on the side. When we're done, all of the drops, you can see all these little pieces that get punched out. They land in that little tray. They don't always stay there. They fall on the floor. So we need to make sure we're picking all of this stuff up, cleaning this off and this area in the floor when it's time to clean up. That's pretty much it for this machine. It's pretty simple. Watch, as always, for pinch points. If we're moving these, lots of spots our fingers can get smushed. Really the only moving parts are the handle with the cam, the ram, and then the punch. So, as always, keep our fingers out and make sure you're asking permission before you use any of our machines.